Jarvis.
Welcome, Holmes.
I am Iron Man. You think you're the only superhero in the world? Mr. Stark, you become part of a bigger universe. You just don't know it yet.
I remember being a kid and going to movies when you were rewarded for sitting through the credits. Ferris Bueller comes to mind, Masters of the Universe starring Dolph Lundgren. We got to the point where we were making our own films. We always thought it'd be fun to do that. And the first version of that, of course, was Nick Fury in Iron Man 1.
Who the hell are you? Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Huh.
I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative.
When we were making Iron Man 1, we knew we had aspirations to make all these other movies, but we weren't banking on the fact that we were going to get to make all of them yet.
The end of Incredible Hulk, when Tony Stark walks in to talk with General Ross, that was the first time audiences started to go, wait a minute, these worlds are connected.
You know, I hate to say I told you so, General, but that super soldier program was put on ice for a reason. I've always felt that hardware was much more reliable.
I have a bit of a trippy kind of, arc with him, but I adore the guy.
The idea that all the characters could cross over to each other's films became a signature element.
As I've watched how it's being played, I'm marveling.
What if I told you we were putting a team together? Who's we?
I think various people, they've learned something about the pleasures of setting up stuff here that pays off here and ties together there.
If you look at phase 1, S.H.I.E.L.D. is the glue, the connective tissue that keeps the Marvel Universe together. We started leaning towards Clark because after Iron Man 1, people liked him.
I'm busy. What do you want?
Nothing. Goodbye. I've been reassigned. On the day when we were actually shooting the scene in the lab in Iron Man 2, Kevin said, listen, there's a new line in the scene, which is, you're going to tell them that you're going to New Mexico. Why New Mexico? And they said, oh, Thor, you're doing Thor.
I'm reading the draft for Thor. Coulson goes to the desert, pulls back, calls Nick Fury, says, we found it. You reveal it's the hammer in the desert. And I said, this could be great as its tag on Iron Man 2.
Sir, we found it.
I think there's always an element of little hints and clues throughout our movies. But down the road, if you're willing to go back and put the pieces together, you can say, oh, they were seeding that there, and this connects here in the Avengers.
When we put the cube into the first Thor, we wanted to lean in towards the first Captain America film.
Legend tells us one thing, history another. But every now and then we find something that belongs to both.
The really exciting thing about the post-credit sequence in Thor is that Nick Fury and Eric Selvig are conferring over the Tesseract.
What is it?
Power, Doctor. If we can figure out how to tap it, maybe unlimited power.
And at that moment, Loki appears in the reflection.
Well, I guess that's worth a look. Well, I guess that's worth a look.
Tesseract was the jewel of Odin's treasure room.
Playing that into Captain America is great for us because it gives a lot of layers and complications, and it opens up the possibilities.
You've been asleep, Cap, for almost 70 years.
The tag, if you can call it that, on the first Captain America film, the first Avenger, was not really a tag, it was the first teaser for the Avengers itself.
Gentlemen, you're up.
We never sit down and go, what can be a great tag for this movie? We sit down and go, how are we going to make a great movie? The tag discussions usually come about naturally, and sometimes it comes about like shawarma.
There's a shawarma joint about 2 blocks from here. I don't know what it is, but I want to try it.
We're not finished yet.
We're actually not done shooting. We are shooting one more scene tonight.
And we are at the corner of near Pico and Doheny in a shawarma restaurant with all the Avengers in costume filming one more shot.
We have a new challenge with the Avengers. We have a cinematic universe that we now have to tie together. Joss had an idea very early on that Thanos should be involved.
He is like a supreme being of evil. And so the idea that he was the prime mover behind all of this just seemed natural.
Humans. They are not the cowering wretches we were promised. To challenge them is to court death.
The
The Iron Man franchise has always been about great Marvel action, infused with this sense of wit and irreverence.
To be able to share all my intimate thoughts, my experiences with someone, it just cuts the weight of it in half. You know, it's like a snake swallowing its own tail. Everything comes full circle. And the fact that you've been able to help me process.
In the case of Iron Man 3, it was actually Robert Downey Jr.'s idea to say, well, you know what the tag should be? It should be you pull up and I've been talking to Banner the whole time.
I was always kind of like, hey, it made sense, you know, Bruce and Tony drive off into the Central Park sunset at the end of Avengers. So I think that a lot of it is we're quote unquote in cahoots.
Cements, I think, the story, so you feel like there's a common unity among all the people in it.
So you heard none of it?
I'm sorry. I'm not that kind of doctor. I'm not a therapist. It's not my training.
So?
I don't have the
What, the time?
temperament.
We were cutting together Thor: The Dark World while we were prepping Guardians. And there were a couple of loose ends as we were putting together Thor: The Dark World. One of them was what happens to this ether. In early cuts of the movie, it had just sort of fallen away. And at the same time we're working on Guardians, we had built a set. I think we might have even been shooting the scenes with the Collector. And we thought, wait a minute, what if we had a few Asgardians come in and deliver it to the Collector?
Asgardians? Whoa.
And we knew that audience would be like, what is going on? Who is this guy? Which would be answered the next year in Guardians.
1 down, 5 to go.
Hydra. Shield. Two sides of a coin that's no longer currency.
Shooting the tag for Cap, I just felt like I didn't want to make another Avengers movie. I wanted to make this movie. I shot it very differently than the first film. It's not as open, it's not as cheery as the last one.
We were filming the Captain America tag with him, and so that was when we started our conversation about originating these characters.
It's not the world of spies anymore, not even the world of heroes. This is the age of miracles.
Guardians of the Galaxy has a few teased connections to the other properties. Seeing Thanos as part of this universe and popping up in the Avengers universe is one of those things that's going to tie these movies together.
Return to me again empty-handed, and I will bathe the starways in your blood.
At the end, we didn't think much about tags, and we were in post, and I think James was saying, hey, it's a Marvel movie, you gotta have a tag. While we were cutting the film, working on all of the various things in the Collector's Lab, at some point, it started as a joke. We were listing all of the Marvel Easter eggs that are probably there somewhere, and we started talking about Howard the Duck.
When you first walk into the Collector's Museum and we push in on Benicio as he turns towards us with those ridiculous glasses, up to the right of him, overhead and slightly to the right, you'll see Howard the Duck in a tiny little glass box, and he turns slowly towards the audience and looks at our characters, which is pretty fun.
James called Seth Green and had him do the voice for it.
What do you let it lick you like that for? Gross.
Joss knew that Age of Ultron was going to be his final contribution up to this point to the cinematic universe. And without Joss, there is no Thanos. Joss brought Thanos into this universe, and that was important to Joss, that be the final beat, and have that be the marker as we go forward.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
There's something I want to show you.
With Ant-Man, the notion of Hope, being led downstairs by her father, Hank, and being shown the Wasp costume.
This is an advanced prototype that your mother and I worked on together.
Plus, I'm here looking this way. It's about damn time.
Hope Van Dyne is also going to have her place in the MCU in a big way, taking on the mantle of the Wasp.
It's about damn time.
Ant-Man had found its shape, we'd screened it, we knew it was strong, and one of the strongest elements of it was the interaction with Falcon.
It's okay. You can't see me.
I can see you. I'm watching dailies for Captain America Civil War, and we were shooting the scene where Falcon and Cap have Bucky.
This would have been a lot easier a week ago.
And as fate would have it, the Russos had directed that scene in a similar fashion to the way Peyton had done Ant-Man.
Just give me the suit.
No, we're on our own. Maybe not.
I said, holy moly, this would be awesome. This could be the tag of the movie.
I know a guy.
What's fun now is that Phase 2 has ended. You can look at that cover of Avengers #1. They've all made cinematic appearances.
Hopefully now we're getting to a point where all that work can kind of culminate and pay off. It becomes just kind of this legendary saga that audiences have been paying attention to and following along with. We hit upon the idea years ago at one of our creative retreats that the Tesseract should be an Infinity Stone, and that there was an opportunity to have this gigantic story that could take place over the course of, 9, 10 movies. We've been keeping track of them in all the course of all these different films, and Thanos has been keeping track of all of it this whole time as well.